Number one talk station 99.3 Nigeria Info. Welcome to the last 1 hour of the show. It's home run on the morning crossfire for today. So we're just going to hit the ground running as usual. I'm Sheriff Quadry. You can watch us live right now on Facebook and on YouTube. This morning, we want to focus on what the government can do right now to ameliorate the hardship that you're facing in your business, in your day-to-day activities, in your life, in your family, brought about by the removal of fuel petrol subsidy. That is our focus. Achike Chude is a public affairs commentator. He joins us via the telephone this morning. Achike, good morning to you. Achike, are you here? I can't hear Achike one bit. Please, let's get him back on the line and see if we can get him to speak to us, all right? As soon as we're able to get him back, we'll put him on the telephone. But just as we try to do that, let me take you through what Labour said to the government yesterday. So Labour, came to a 7-point kind of agenda. They said the first one is the federal government, TUC and NLC to review the World Bank financed cash transfer scheme, and they propose the inclusion of low-income earners in that program. Secondly, the federal government, TUC and Labour to revive the CNG conversion program earlier agreed with Labour in 2021 and work out detailed implementation and timing. 3. The Labour Centres and the federal government to review issues hindering effective delivery in the education sector and propose solutions for implementation. That's number 3. Number 4, this is number 4 here. It reads, Labour Centres and the federal government to review and establish the framework for the completion of the rehabilitation of the nation's refineries. The federal government to provide a framework for the maintenance and roads and expansion of rail networks across the country. All other demands submitted by the TUC to the federal government will be assessed by the joint committee. That's the end of the demands. I had read to you earlier in the morning the demands by the TUC separately, but that is also included here in the overall demand of the meeting of the Labour with the government yesterday. Achike, thank you again for joining us.
It's a pleasure, Sheriff.
How are you doing today, Achike?
Oh, very fine, thanks.
This morning we want to look at solution, right? So Labour has called off their strike. They had a meeting with the government yesterday, and they've given government some demands. But I want to take it from the point of the people and what affects the people right now. In your opinion, our conversation solely will be based on solution-driven, right? So in your opinion, where should we start from as, let's say, we want to tell the government where to begin from in ameliorating the hardship this fuel subsidy removal has cost people? A lot of people have said, look, reverse back to the old price first, then put some things in place. Let's start from there. When you reverse back to the old price, that people's life can return back to normal, that everybody can prepare for the full-time, subsidy removal. Others have said, look, there's no money to pay this subsidy, so we've got to start from somewhere. In your observation of what you've seen happening around right now as a result of this fuel subsidy removal, where would you say the people need government intervention the most, as quickly, as urgently as possible?
So, you see, my brother Sheriff, I understand that the conversation will be solution-driven, and I think I agree with you. You need to begin to look for solutions. But solutions to the present crisis is like looking for a needle in a haystack. You cannot talk about the solutions, it will be intellectually foreign. For me, for instance, to talk about solutions. To talk about solutions without looking at where the solutions will come from. So I think that is critical importance, because any solution, and we must agree that any solution that can be provided at this stage must be resource driven. We must have the money to be able to begin to apply these measures of solution. And so the question you now ask is, in doing that, where are we going to get the money from to be able to implement this? I will give you a few examples, and then we now begin to drive it home.
All right.
For instance, and that has been the argument that we've always had with regards to the politicking in this country. Politicians will come, promise you that they will build houses in the sky and make air conditions free to all Nigerians and all that. And Nigerians don't ask the question, okay, we accept, we like it, but where is it going to come from? Where are you going to get the money from that? Because ultimately, it boils down to basic economics. Now, we have a situation where we need to look for money to be able to put into some of these solution-driven initiatives. And perhaps that is why the last government went for loan of about $800 million. They said they wanted to use it as part of the solution, 50 million households, 5,000 naira for every month for the next few months. Of course, it was a very fraudulent, in my own opinion, very fraudulent exercise that they wanted to embark upon, because we have always asked the questions, who are the 50 million vulnerable Nigerians? And if you are talking about 50 million vulnerable Nigerians, well, we know too that there are 133 million Nigerians in multidimensional poverty. So it's obviously more than the 50 million. And then if you look at the time the report came out about the 133 million Nigerians in multidimensional poverty, perhaps we've added another 10 million. So you're talking of about 143 million Nigerians that the government has to provide solutions for. And because, again, this is not something we can run away from. So where the question I now have to ask, Sharif, if Nigeria has a debt budget, a debt profile of 77 trillion naira, and then we are using about 93% of the country's budgetary provision to service our debt, not even to pay the principal, then we need money again for these palliatives. Where will the money come from? Is it going to be from the revenue that Nigeria generates, which goes into debt servicing, and we're leaving very little for capital expenditure? Or is it the solution again to add to the 77 trillion naira that Nigeria has borrowed again to be able to do that? So from my own perspective, if the government tells you, that they are going to put palliative on
that they have a solution
I
somewhere,
will put that in straight away. It is not going to happen because they don't have the capacity to be able to do that.
Achike, slow down. Slow down small. So, Achike, wait. Achike, wait. In essence, you're saying that let's not expect anything, any silver bullet right now. Let's not expect anything that would cushion the effect in the immediate right now. There's nothing will change. Look,
Sharif, I don't engage in semantics.
Yeah.
Unnecessary semantics.
I can see. I can see that.
Or sophistry.
I can see that.
To pepper over words and all that just to make people feel good. But I tell you, I want to feel good about my country. I want to be able to tell Nigerians there's good news, there's light in the horizon. I want to be able to tell Nigerians that, look, don't worry. Let's just go ahead and do this, that the government has a solution. But would I not be fraudulently intellectual for me to say that the government has a solution? Solution to what? Don't forget the Ibrahim Mantu, Commission on Palliatives. They produced at the end of the day, it was a tripartite, or is it bipartisan? The discussion that they had with Labour and members of the organized private sector. They brought out this voluminous book about what they are going to do with the subsidy, with the profits that were from the subsidy that was removed at that time. Nothing happened. Then in recent history, the CNG project, the gas project that they talked about. Yeah. Remember the last increase? Was that every filling station you're going to CKD, that they're going to transform your usage of fuel to gas usage that all over the country is going to be done free and the rest. How many of those places were settled? Again, another deceit against the Nigerian people. So we have seen these things, even when we want to be optimistic about our country, and we should be optimistic. But unfortunately, there is no basis in terms of outcome of all of these exercises and enterprises by the government. There is nothing that shows to us that the government has the capacity and the ability. First of all, let me just establish two frameworks. Okay. One is that we do not have the capacity first to do any sort of intervention now. Two, the second one, is the fact that we lack the political will. But perhaps there is something on the horizon. Okay. Look, Femi Falana has constantly talked about the trillions of naira that is being owed to the federal government by multinational corporations.
Yes. Yes.
over the years. In fact, we have had court decisions in this country that to the effect that these multinational corporations must pay the trillions of naira that they are owed to the Nigerian government. But the Nigerian government has lacked the capacity to do that. For a country that is looking for money left, right, and center, you will see that will be one major area where they are going to do something. So perhaps if they can put pressure on these multinational oil corporations to expedite action towards paying, then the Nigerian government will be able to have enough money to begin to do one or two things in terms of palliatives. And then that again stop the bleeding from the Niger Delta, the oil pipelines, the super tankers that are coming to Nigerian territorial waters to take away our crude oil. Perhaps if you do that, you might be able to have some bit of money to be able to do something.
Right.
Now, what is the government supposed to do? First of all, you should target, ways of improving the basic income of Nigerians, households. And it's not the abominable and laughable and contemptuous 5,000 naira they want to give to households. How much is it going to take for you, for a family to feed itself? This is not 8 years ago, when at least with 5,000 you could do something. And perhaps a justification of if you look at the inflationary trend, the 30,000 minimum wage that is being paid to workers today is less than the 80,000 that was paid to workers as a minimum wage at the time because of erosion or the dynamics of inflation and all that.
Right.
So these are the issues we are talking about. So if we can free some money, get some money from the multinational oil corporations, get them to foot their bills, to pay for the owe the Nigerian government, then perhaps we might be able to save some money and then now begin to look at ways to increase the average, household income in this country to get a better position.
In the
and begin to pay,
in the interim, people should not expect much. They should lower their expectations of what is to come from this government. Essentially, that's what you're saying. Essentially,
it's not what I'm saying. It's what the facts are saying.
Okay.
And it has nothing to do with my thoughts or my opinion. If the government tells you that they are going to do this, let them tell us how they are going to do it. It's like the politicians, contesting for political relevance in the country. They tell us they are going to do this. Have they ever told us how they intend to do it?
You mentioned
this still remains the basic, fundamental questions.
Right.
So let the government look. I have said, okay, put money in the household, in the increase or somehow look a way to put money inside in people's house, households, so that they will be able to have money to carry out basic responsibilities. That is my position to the government. That is the first thing, because we are talking about grinding poverty in the country. We are talking about people's inability to meet up with their basic social responsibilities. So these are some of the things. And then in order to do that, you need resources. So we shouldn't put the cart before the horse.
Right.
You need the resources.
And the resources are not simply
the government says they don't have resources.
Exactly.
That is the basis of even this subsidy wahala.
Right. You mentioned something about palliatives, and I'd like to ask exactly what you feel. We have $800 million, somewhere kept already. I like to ask you what you think could be the best palliative the government can use. Some have said, use this money to subsidize food. I don't know how that's going to be done. To subsidize what's the thing they mentioned again? Transportation. I don't know if that can be done in the immediate now. I don't know. But I would like to get your thought on what you think could be the best way to utilize that fund. Or is it the usual distribute 5K?
Yeah, okay. There's another, thank you. Yeah, it's critical, Sheriff. Because in this country, we are told that, school children were being fed during the pandemic when we knew everybody was at home. So it has to be something like you are suggesting. We have to look for a way to do that if we can get the resources first. But I think one other place where we can get resources from, Sheriff, and a lot of Nigerians are not using this opportunity of the fuel subsidy to talk about it. Our public office holders are earning sinful amounts of money, and I use that word deliberately. And there's no morality, there's no moral justification for the kind of monies that they are earning. Nigerians should be, demanding a 60% reduction in the amount, in the emoluments and in the salaries that these people are getting. In Senegal, we had a bicameral legislature in Senegal. When the economy was bit harder and people realized that, look, we needed to do something, They reduced it from, a bicameral legislature to unicameral legislature. In Nigeria, we don't. So the more the people suffer, the more the privileges of the politicians and their elites and acolytes continues to go up in Nigeria. This is clearly, a case of gross injustice. So what we're thinking, if we can have savings, because I'm providing solutions, I'm trying to provide solutions. If we can have savings, then what happens across the 33 states in this country and the federal, capital,
right,
where the emoluments of ministers, out of lawmakers,
right,
and every other person
right,
will be drastically reduced, including that of the president, then we can now find ourselves, we can now free more money that we can channel towards the people, the problem of the people. And then how do we now go about it? You cannot leave government alone. Government, there's this saying they keep on banding about that government has no business in business, which is hogwash in my own opinion. But beyond that is the fact that if you say government cannot manage resources efficiently, then why would you allow government again, having seen their failure over the years, to manage these resources when they are provided for the people? So what it means is that we must have an arrangement that involves government officials when these monies can be released, when these resources are released, having government officials. We have members of credible civil society organizations. We have members of labor associations, including maybe the MBA, and others, to be able to sit down and administer the utilization of this money so that they can come out with specific, credible data about the level of poverty in this country and who and to whom some of these monies should be channeled towards, and not leave it to government officials, because what they do is that they will simply pocket the money and there's nothing anybody can do about it. So this is another solution I think I can provide.
I mean, look, Achike, you've actually helped in proffering a lot of ideas this morning. Let's get to hear one or two things, because next I'd like to talk to you about the way the negotiation is going and what you expect from this negotiation in a very short period of time, or whether you even have hopes in anything concrete coming out of that negotiation. Because quite a number of people have said that, look, Labour is there to protect the interest of workers, as against the general belief that, Labour is there to protect the interest of the entire country. But we'll find that out. And, they back this up by saying that, look, initially Labour was requesting that the old price be reverted to, that's 185, 190. But now, when the negotiation is on the way, nobody is talking about the old price anymore. Labour is more or less even focusing more on the minimum wage. That's majorly their focus now, which, if you ask me, concerns majorly the workers. So I'd like to get your thought on that. But let me take one or two calls now. Then we'll go to break. Then we'll come back to talk about that. 0700 993 993 993 and 01 465 7190. Good morning to you. Yes, good morning to you. What's your name?
Good morning, Sherry.
Yes, please. What's your name, please?
Good morning.
We can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you, but I'll talk. My name is Wari Laifa.
Welcome, Mr. Wari Laifa. Welcome.
Yeah. The truth is that government will get the money. You just asked Achike one question. Where would an Achike answer that there's no money anywhere? Government intends to get money from this subsidy and give to a few people, very few people, and leave the majority of the people suffering. The government will never take care of majority of the people, as we know in this country, because the Labour Congress or the TUC will fight for mostly organized labor, employed people. How many Nigerians are under organized labor? Most people are earning a living out of daily pay, daily work, and these people are not going to be provided for. Now, the courts have come in. They have come in to save the government. As a matter of fact, on the 19th, when the next meeting will take place, by that time, everything would have been cold, and the vapor has been removed from the struggle, and our suffering is just continuing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wari. Let's see if we can take Joseph in about 45 seconds. Joseph, morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
I've got about 40 seconds for you, quickly.
Good morning also to your guests in the studio. I think that, what the NLC is doing right now, it's all right for them to do this. But I think that one of the solutions that the government should, as a matter of immediacy, put into place is to ensure that we have refineries in Nigeria. I mean, this was the promise from this government or from APC from 2015. 8 years has elapsed, no plan for a refinery. Now we are here, subsidies removed, no plan for a refinery. I recall that in 2012, when they came out and said, subsidies should not be removed and all of that.
Joseph.
The solution that the government provided at that time was that, okay, we take out subsidy, in the next 2 years, we're going to make sure we have a refinery. So
thank you, Joseph. I'm really sorry. I sincerely apologize for that, but I need to head out now. Achike, stay with me. When we return, we'll talk some more and we'll take some other calls as well. Lagos will be back. Stay here, please.
More conversation, more talk, more right after this.
Are you a tech enthusiast eager to build your skills and advance in the ever-evolving world of technology? This is your chance to learn the required skills to succeed in the future of Africa's tech ecosystem through the Advanced Africa program. With over 10,000 young Africans equipped with tech skills, you could be one of the next beneficiaries of this scholarship. Available courses are Business Analytics, Data Science, Digital Marketing, Introduction to Programming, and Product Management. So join the community of young, vibrant tech trailblazers building the future of Africa's tech space. Visit www.advanced-africa.org to apply today. Registration closes on the 13th of June 2023. Advanced Africa is powered by Access Bank and Udacity.
Guy, I was just about to come and give you one sweet gist. Where are you dashing to this early morning, by the way? I hope all is well.
Are you on this planet at all? In fact, which gist can be sweeter than the fact that Xiaomi is giving out up to 3 million naira and plenty other goodies?
Guy, I'm give me the full details of this your own update now.
Yes, this is the best time to purchase any Xiaomi product of your choice. On every purchase, you stand a chance to win a whopping sum of 3 million naira cash, a Xiaomi 55 inches smart TV, Xiaomi suitcase, and up to 100% cashback. When you buy any of the Redmi Note 11 series, Redmi 10A, Redmi 10C, Redmi A1 Plus, you get up to 10,000 naira discount and other sweet deals on your purchase. Guess what? When you buy the latest Xiaomi devices like the Redmi Note 12 series, Redmi 12C, and Redmi A2 Plus, you even stand a better chance to enjoy better deals. All you have to do is simply buy a Xiaomi product and you will automatically stand a chance to win. Did you hear that? So you see, that's your gist can wait too. Because right now I am rushing to Xiaomi store to quickly buy that Xiaomi phone that has been on my mind since. Because right now is the best time. And of course, this cannot pass me by. This offer is valid from 1st June to 8th July 2023.
Education is the most profitable investment anyone can have, but education is not always cheap. This is why Advance Lafayette Microfinance Bank has introduced Advance Boost to secure the future with access to quality education. For private school owners, there is Advance School Boost to run their schools effectively without any financial hiccups. Advance Edu Loan to help parents pay school fees with ease. And Advance Kiddies, a high-yield savings account that helps you secure your child's future. Visit www.advancenigeria.com/education or call 0700-023-8267 for more information. Advance Lafayette Microfinance Bank, growing together.
Colors, they add meaning to our lives. From birth and naming of a child.
May your life be rich and potent as the red palm oil.
Colors tell of the feelings in our hearts. Through rainbow-like roses or even bubbly emojis. Colors speak of our distinctive ancestry through the shade of our skin. Colors are in the bright garbs we wear to impress, or the deluxe coat we give our buildings.
Wow, this is so beautiful.
And with our proudly Nigerian deluxe paints now available in any color, express your world however you want it. Visit a Deluxe Color Center to get any color instantly.
Dulux, let's color. The lack of reliable data has hindered evidence-based policymaking in Nigeria for too long. But this may never hold again, as the book Nigeria in Figures is changing the narrative. Nigeria in Figures, a socio-economic data book of Nigerian social and economic performance at the national, regional, and state levels since 1999. Dr. Afolabi Olowokere presents various data in readable formats for researchers, leaders in all spheres, politicians, and academics interested in developments within various sectors of the Nigerian economy. Nigeria in Figures is your one-stop shop for an aggregate of functional data accessible in colorful infographics with insights and analysis. Nigeria in Figures takes you on a journey of discovery as you engage in evidence-based planning, understanding government policies, and programs with up-to-date data from multiple sources. The public presentation comes up on Thursday, 8th June 2023 at the Muson Center, Marina, Lagos. Visit www.adsrng.com. Nigeria in Figures. Data at your service.
Uncle Dentist, what are cavities? And how does Colgate protect my teeth from cavities? Does it use Kung Fu?
No, dear. Most tooth pains are caused by tooth holes called cavities. When you brush daily with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, its expert formula locks natural calcium in our teeth and helps protect them from cavities.
It's time to upgrade to the world's most chosen toothpaste, Colgate, because Colgate locks calcium in.
Keeps cavities out!
Colgate is recommended by the Nigerian Dental Association.
Are you tired of using ordinary lubricants that fail to give your engine the power and protection it deserves? Introducing Shell Helix Lubricants, now available in Nigeria. No more frequent visits to the mechanic. No more funny noise coming from your engine. No more abnormal fuel consumption. You can now say goodbye to all that smoke from your car's exhaust.
Shell Helix Lubricants uses Pure Plus technology, a technology that protects your engine from dirt, gets rid of impurities, and improves engine performance. Need guaranteed engine protection? Use Shell Helix Lubricants. Now available at AP and NU service stations nationwide.
The biggest football fan festival in Nigeria is back. Goalfest 2023. Performing live, international superstar Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Imole himself, Mo back.
Listen to this one like this. Been through many things.
And the energy god himself, D.O. to the T-U-N.
Ladies and gentlemen, they call me the energy god #1.
And many more. Goalfest 2023 will also feature exciting games, food, comedy, and you can watch the UEFA Champions League finals on a huge screen. Goalfest 2023 will take place on the 10th of June at the Balmoral Convention Center, Federal Palace Hotel, Ahmadu Bello Way, Victoria Island, Lagos. Time 2 p.m.
Get your free tickets now.
www.goalfestnigeria.com. Limited tickets available, so hurry. Goalfest 2023 is powered by Femi and the Gang and the Football Republic. Proudly refreshed by Pepsi. Sponsored by BetWinner.
Supported by Indomie, media partner, Super Sports.
Health, they say, is wealth. But when securing good health costs you an arm and a leg, or when you are at the hospital and they insist on a hefty deposit before treatment,
but when Avon HMO has your back, you won't have to scream, Yekba, because in the end, we all need people. Visit AvonHealthcare.com now to get an Avon Health plan for you and your people.
Avon HMO, empowering you to live a healthier, fuller life.
Behind every child's first step is a great mom. First words, first birthday, first day at school. Great moms are there all the way to care and to nurture. And with the Pears Baby range, you choose to put your baby first. Available in lotion, oil, cream, and jelly, and made of natural mild ingredients. Pears is pure and gentle for all your baby skincare needs. Put your baby first today with the Pears Baby range of products.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your #1 station for talk. Let's talk. This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
The nation's #1 talk station, 99.3 Nigeria Info. We're back on the radio. Welcome back from that break. I still have Achike Chude here, a public affairs social commentator. He joined us this morning to discuss solutions to the current quagmire that we found ourselves in Nigeria here today. If you're listening from anywhere in the world, if you're a Nigerian and would like to get your thought as well, feel free to call our Skype. Our Skype ID is Nigeria Info FM. Okay, and you can call the studios as well if you can. 0700 993 993 993 and 01465 7190. Achike, let's talk about first. Thank you for staying on the line. Let's talk about the current negotiation. Whether you have any faith in any outcome between Labour and the government. First is, are you hopeful of any actionable resolve from this negotiation? That's number one. Number two, do you think that critical stakeholders from the NGO, community should be involved in this negotiation as well. Do you think that's because I saw someone tweeted about this, that issues such as this shouldn't be limited to Labour and the government alone. There are other critical stakeholders from the private sector, from the NGO, who should be part of this, because whatever it is has been agreed upon would affect quite a wide range of people. There's a spectrum that is so wide that whatever conclusion has been reached now shouldn't be about the workers alone. Under the employ of the federal or state government, it should cut across even to ordinary people. Number one, are you hopeful of any reasonable, actionable conclusion reached at this dialogue?
Yeah, before I think I should answer the previous questions or observations you made before getting to the issue of being hopeful, because it is dependent on the other one. Now, somebody had said, when somebody called earlier, the person was suggesting that was asking whether, was talking about, I think the conversation, had to do with why the NLC and the Labour and the TUC, why they play the kind of role exactly that they play. And that they should be more beholden to Nigerians. But the reality, the question you ask yourself is, how many Nigerians voted for the president of the NSC and the president of the TUC? In a general election. The election was only limited to members of the NSC and the TUC, and they voted for their president. And so they have a primary responsibility to their members, first of all. The other one is that, the other thing is that this is, ancillary. Whatever they do on behalf of the Nigerian people and so on, it's also ancillary to what they do, because Labour, there's a history. Labour has a history of being pro-people. That has always been one of the strongest points of Labour over the years.
Okay.
Now, that's why from time to time they speak on behalf of the people. Now, as to whether other groups should be involved, absolutely, because this is not a Labour issue. This is a Nigerian issue. And so from that perspective, Labour would seem to have some limitations, because as long as they feel that they have satiated the interest primarily of their primary constituency, there's always that tendency that they might want to relax, while the greater problems of the society is, left unattended to. So I should believe that all of these other organizations should be involved. But I think what is happening is that the government is responding to the power dynamics. There's a power dynamics, at play here.
Okay.
The Labour represents a power structure in this country that on a good day can ruffle the feathers of government and create crisis. Well, I'll use the word in quote, crisis, because some of these crises we talk about could be legitimate and appropriate to get the government to do the right thing. So because the civil society has not been able to show the same power dynamics, that is why it becomes easy for the government to say, look, we're only going to negotiate with Labour.
Okay.
But Labour must also be aware, of the fact that without the people, they are nowhere.
But why is that so, though? Why has society not been able to play that vital role that they're known for?
Yeah, well, the civil society played it in 2012. That was like a household.
Yes, that's true.
But also over an entire years, that's a big reason of the destruction, of the civil society. The things results. And so things have also had an ability to society, but also the effect of the civil society, also the big role of shared and government. That is the truth. So you can't ask a bit of civil society. These are something that set up even by the government, that are controlled by the government. Be able to also face crisis, and that's why you have a situation where people make today, civil society is only getting position of government. They take government on the street. Also, now have their own capital. And the actual of forces. I don't think all that is being done with the society issues that are also facing at level. That is not the question of it. And because me, that is failure.
Why I had to bring up particular to all of what you mentioned earlier. Civil society, that's what I said, NGO. For bringing up civil society, be the end of the company, not even Labour. To be very honest with you, Labour will just focus on anything that have worked, but civil society, anything that have demand for mobilization, there is engagement, there is awareness being carried out by society. But in case, it don't seem as though we don't have any of them anymore. Correct me, because I haven't seen that much engagement or much interaction among society organizations on this particular topic.
When it was a bit of the did the press conference, very good level.
Yes, okay.
But they are not, I think, that they are not as essential as they should be. So there are a lot of work that still needs to be done, because and some society, it's not the same society that is dominant society that accepts enough level of influence policy. So it's not in not a structure of the one way or the other. Civil society activism is not as to bring level it used to be. For the people, a little bit for level, but all have limitations and have limitations. You will get to
Actually, losing your connection. You're breaking. I think we can't hear you still. You're breaking. Okay, it's better now.
Okay, so as well as one day, we can be, we might not be, we know people that know actually, we realize it's important for them. They're not just vendors of their own specific interests, but also through this insurance, also negotiate our community. So, and we're trying to turn to one of the ways that don't have
Achike, I asked a question earlier. I wanted to ask you leave in whatever comes out of negotiate, whether, the reason I asked that question, the reason I'm going back to it is we seem to have a track record of government coming to agreement with this union, that union. At the end of the day, somebody is reneging on these agreements, and then we're back to square one.
This is what I was telling you the other time. When I talked about the Manchu committee and then all the other committees that have been set up to do the thing,
Achike, I'm afraid we may have to call you back. I can't hear you at all. Let's please try call Achike back. In the meantime, it's 8:45 from our studios. Let me hear from Lagos. Let me hear from you. You've heard what we've talked about this morning thus far. Achike said, look, the facts are on the ground. Don't expect anything fantastic, any palliatives that will take away the hardship, right now, because there is simply nothing no resources to do that. And according to him, it's not his word. These are facts on the ground, right? Okay. I'd like to hear from you, though. 0700 993 993 993 or 277 0993 01 277 1993 01 277 2993 and 01 277 993. For female callers, please call us on 01 465 7190 for female callers. We're live on Facebook. We're also live on YouTube. Let me know what you think about our conversation thus far this morning. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that I support whatever he's saying there. He's making a good a suggestion of what is happening. I support him.
I need you to turn off your radio quickly.
Okay.
Like right now. Thank you.
It's off.
Thank you.
Off.
Please go on now.
So I just want to recognize the fact that what he's saying there is just the truth. No nothing can be done, but let us see the little thing that can be done now.
Okay.
There is this palliative. Please let them channel it to agriculture. Make sure that they involve the private sector, public-private partnership, just as the way they have this refinery. We have to have on ground. Agriculture is the main thing that can sustain, because very, very soon, all this money they are putting, the money they want to add upon the salary and everything, it will make the value of Naira not to have any effect. You can even, you would see it at the end of the day, we might even buy one bag of rice for 80,000 Naira. So they should do that immediately. Channel everything to agriculture. Make sure they have the board, both the civil society, the labor. Let them find a way of how to get back to agriculture. We do a scheme that could last for some time so that we have food, first of all. And secondly, we need to also have this opportunity of redecimalizing our Naira. The big money that we're carrying about, it makes no sense of whatever you are going to buy in the market.
No value.
Yes. Do you see that economies like the US, you have their 100 Naira bills. They don't have $1,000 bills, all those 2,000 bills. So it will make you whatever you have. Because if they now increase this minimum wage to 60,000 Naira, you are going to find that at the end of the day, this 30,000 Naira will be about 80,000 Naira. And it will be a multiple effect in all the facets of the economy. So this money has to come down so that even people that are doing all this corruption, they can't have all this big money to carry around to also do their fraudulent activities.
Thank you for your thought. But I'd like to believe that it's not as straightforward as you painted it, okay? But thank you. I'm not an economist, really. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Sherry.
Good morning.
This is Pastor Ladipo,
Welcome.
calling from Iligo. Sherry, you asked a pertinent question. You said, where will the federal government get the money? Now, my take is this. If you need immediate solution, I would have loved the politicians, starting from the presidency, let them just come up and say, every money that have been budgeted, that outrageous budget should be streamlined and all the money channeled back so that everybody will now know that at least so they are the ones that are making the first sacrifice before the masses. So let them now sustain this thing pending when this thing, because they cannot tell us that they can't generate the money. Why their own money is not reducing? Their emolument is not reducing. Their lifestyle is not reducing. So if they want to generate this money, let us start from there. Let them come out and tell us this is how much they are earning. They are slashing it into more than half. And they want to channel the rest back. And everyone that has dipped their hand into the cookie jar of this nation, whatever that be recovered for them should be made known and channeled back to cushion the effect of this subsidy removal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your thought. Appreciate it. Let's try and get Achike back on the line so we can wrap up this morning. Once we're able to do that, we'll close the show this morning. Let's see if we're able to do that before the end of the show itself. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Uncle Sharif.
Good morning, Uncle. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm AJ, talking from the Cotton Axis.
Welcome.
Please, we'll be pleading so vigorously that the issue of salary increase should not be at all. Because it's going to worsen things.
Okay.
It's like the Yoruba, say, Olegbe Olegba, meaning the increase will eventually be some form of wastage. Because at the end of the day, inflation will corner it up. And hyperinflation will be, the order of the day. What they should do is to bring down the price totally, completely.
Okay.
So that to transport oneself from, say, Ikoton here to Lagos will be something like 100 naira. And the salary will, very, very, invigorated again.
Okay.
Please, right. I'm pleading. If I had a way, or I should think you should pass the message to them on the behalf of the people.
Okay.
The issue of salary increase, I completely detest it.
All right.
Please.
Thank you.
And may God continue to bless you.
Thank you. And you too. Thank you for calling me. He said no to salary increase because it's going to bring about inflation. Achike, thank you for rejoining us. We lost you for a moment there. We need to begin to coast home now. What will be your final words to the people listening to us right now? We've talked about, you've enumerated some points, solution-based, but what will be your final words on this particular issue now, talking about solution?
Yeah, first of all, I think that the government should be a government and not act as a lackey to unpatriotic elements that are trying to cause problems in the country. And, the biggest surprise, is that about this whole subsidy thing, is that Nigeria remains the only country that is not refining the crude oil that it produces. And that instead of punishing the people who are involved in subsidy scam, we need to punish the people in order to get at. We need to punish all the people in order to get at a few people. That is not governance. That shows a failure of governance. And so, but let's hope that the government can begin to look for ways to look for money, not always taking it from the people who have suffered for far too long. Because the reality is that Nigerians, you see them in their thousands now, walking kilometers to get to work. By the time they get to their workplace, they are famished. They cannot contribute meaningfully to national development. Not talk of development, enhancing their immediate offices. So these are issues, and then there are healthcare implications for this thing they are doing. First of all, the people that are trekking long distances are malnourished. They don't eat well, and then you have to subject them to this kind of situation. So government, like I said, there is money in the country. let them plug all the loopholes where corruption is taking place on a grand scale across the country. Let them stop also the security votes that governors are getting illegally. It might be legal, but it is morally offensive. So let them plug all of the loopholes. Then they will have money to be able to carry out and back on, on social infrastructural programs that can benefit the people. But government has proven that it should not be left alone in the management of the resources of this country. They must involve civil society also in that process so that we can be sure that these monies can get to the people that that they are meant for.
Achike Chude, thank you so much for giving us your time this morning. It's been great speaking with you on the state of the nation. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
Achike Chude, socio-political analyst, joined us this morning on the show. Lagos, that's where we'll leave it for this morning. Thank you all for being a part of our conversation. Tomorrow at 8 o'clock, we'll be having the E-Hailing Riders Association join us to talk about their plight and how this fuel subsidy removal is affecting their business. That's coming up at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Join us then. I am Sheriff Quadry. I'll see you at 5. Bye for now.
Happiness happens when people come together to celebrate moments like love. From friends adorning the new bride in exquisite accessories, to parents giving their blessings to the new couple. And everyone, friends, family.
And I want to assume that you would run because I want to give the listeners context for the conversation.
In 2019, you were running mate to Atiku Abubakar. What did you learn then that you will not repeat this time?
Yes, when is the president coming out to address us?
There's a few things. One, I have a burden and a passion for young people.
The fact that you have elected a man does not mean then you begin to order him around. The president will do whatever is good for the country at any given time.
Mr. Adeshino, isn't the president responsible to the people?
What should the next president do to root out stakeholders who are complicit?
You fire those that need to be fired are fired. It's looking like a brand new Chelsea, attacking with so much fluidity. And what can you say about that, Martin? I know you follow Chelsea quite closely.
I live close to the Chelsea training ground. That's what you mean by that. I'm not.